Hello. Ooh. Hello. Testing. I don't know why I'm not hearing. It says mic is muted, but this is testing. Hello. Hashtag verse TV. Okay. I don't know what was. Maybe this is okay. So, give me just a moment to see. I don't think. No, I know that's not. Hello? Okay, so I guess it's not gonna work for us today that way. But it is okay. Why is it okay? Because give me like 30 seconds to test this thing. Because I don't want to do an entire show and have no audio. It seems like there's audio, but there might not be audio. So that might just be pretend audio. So, hello, hashtag Verse TV family. Just a moment. Un momento, por favor. I have so much good stuff for y'all today. Okay. So something's coming through. I don't know why, but it's whatever. That's a song by Aaliyah. So this is just I don't know. It's cheap. It's cheap. I think I heard some diva speak of such things before, and she's like, "Oh, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap." You know. So I guess the microphone situation. I guess it's cheap. So hashtag Burst TV family, welcome. It's week 239. I'm Aaron Mack, and yes, this week, you know, I will go ahead and start off with the late random question of the week because we didn't do one last week, so I definitely got to give you one this week. Got to give the people what they want. Yes, yeah. And the random question is, when is the right age for you to settle down? See, I love these questions. Oh my gosh, I do. Because when is the right age for me to settle down? Right now. Um, okay, so this is an interesting thing. I ever since I was like 19 and I entered the gay dating world at the age of 19, sophomore year in college, because freshman year I had a roommate, and having a roommate, I was like, I cannot be. And actually, sophomore year, I had a sweet mate. Towers represent whoever knows the towers at Howard. The towers at Howard. But I I wasn't out. I wasn't, but I started living the life at 19. And as I always say, that was my thought sexual exploration days, but I was always just looking for love in all the wrong bedrooms, truly. And I wanted desperately for the love connection and all of that, but I wasn't ready. Long story shortened, extremely long story shortened, due to the press anyway. But extremely long story shortened, I think I finally became ready after the age of 30. My boyfriend that I had at 32, the guy that I say is the guy I thought that I would have married, but I wasn't ready until him, honestly, because like I wanted it before, but I don't think I was ready. I don't think I was ready to settle down. I have always wanted to settle down. Like that's been I am that guy. I'm like, settle down with me, you know? Pick me. I'm a pick me. Oh my gosh. I don't even fully know what that term means, but it sounds like something a thirsty, desperate person would be. So that sounds appropriate for me. A pick me, please. But again, I wasn't ready until like my 32. The guy I did at 32. He taught me a lot about being comfortably myself. So, as I always say to you, we're still friends. I thank you for your contribution to my growth. Yes, because he was very comfortably himself in a way that I was not. And it helped me get there. Anyway, so my new song of the week is relatively new, but it's older. It's not too old, and we'll get into that this week. But how long? 12? Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff I'll cut out of the beginning. But my 2016 song, My Mind, live from So Far Sounds by Yeba. Oh my gosh. And see, this is Google doing its thing again. And just Google shuffling music that it has learned, and we'll get into that, learned that I like to hear. And it gave me that song. And I was like, oh my gosh, I like this song a lot. And it turns out she's a fellow millennial. And it's one of those songs that the topic is staying with love, like through the ups and downs. And yes, it's referencing a down. She's talking about staying with it. Now, I will say this. In 2015, she is one of the youngest millennials, as I am one of the oldest millennials. Millennial starts in 82. I was born in 83. Millennial ends in 96. She was born in 95. And that means in 2015, 2016, she was 22 years old. And it's a very deep song, very deep. And I think it's unfortunate how we have to, in many cases, tie the persona of the person to the music. And if it doesn't match, then we don't accept it. But being 22, perhaps the reason that the song didn't become as big a hit as it could have, with her singing her butt off as she did, singing her butt off, interpreting the lyrics well. her lyrics, because it's my understanding she's a singer-songwriter, interpreting her lyrics well. So it's something she's been through, but perhaps people just didn't want to hear it from a 22-year-old. I don't know. I don't know. But I love the song. And when she sings, no way, no way, she won't take you away from me. I'm like, yes, Yeba. And Yeba is Abby backwards because she said her mom, who actually passed away right after that performance. Oh my gosh. After her first performance, I don't think that was the first one necessarily, but after her first performance of that particular song, that's when her mom passed away. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, she sings her butt off on it, and that also put me in the mind of our other diva, another diva. Well, diva, oh my gosh, Dolly Parton. Like I don't know why the name didn't come to mind, and I don't even have it written down, which means if it didn't come to mind, it would have been a problem, a problem. But diva Dolly Parton song Jolene, I love songs that are like fighting for love. Like I'm team married people sticking together through it all, through it all, you know. I'm learning that. I wasn't that way before. I used to be team throw a dude away and find the immediate right one, you know. But oh well. Anyway, I think I might have gone too far. Oh yeah. Please download and or listen to my albums on my SoundCloud page, Aaron Mack, AARONMCK. Check them out. And are we ready to get the show on the road? 16 minutes? Well, the first number of minutes was just me being like, hold on a minute, hold on, hold on, in the name of please hold on. Anyway, all right. Share, subscribe, and share again. Welcome to December. Oh my gosh, 2023, 2024 is right around the corner. Oh, and by the way, I take myself on so many tangents. I recently saw Mariah Carey had video of herself talking about her coming out with a new album in 2024. So get ready, lambs. Yes. Again, I only stand for Whitney Houston, but I love Mariah Carey very much. Very much love. Anyway, okay. And here we hashtag machines learning. SimpliLearn.com. Hashtag VerseTV239A. Netflix, How to Get Rich with Ramit Sethi. Also Netflix, How to Get Rich with Ramit Sethi. Netflix recommendations. How Netflix uses AI, data science, and ML, machine learning, by SimpliLearn. Netflix AI generates thumbnails by annotating and ranking hundreds of frames taken from a pre-existing movie or TV program to determine which thumbnails are most likely to prompt a click from users. So, when I went to Netflix to look up that movie by Ramit Sethi, and it's not a movie, it's a series by Ramit Sethi, because I've been following him on YouTube and I like what he does. People have different angles into what they do, and that's one of the beauties of social media, because we can all do stuff that authentically fits us. And his thing, he often speaks with like married couples or not married couples about their finances. And it was, I'm really getting into it and everything. And when I went to the movie on Netflix, I was like, wait a minute, well, who is he? And I said, oh, well, he's gorgeous. Maybe he's a, like a co-host with Ramit Sethi. But then I remembered, oh, you know what? That's right. Netflix uses AI to pick from the clips of the movie or film, or in that case, the series, and picks the one that it knows is more likely to generate a click from you. And me, being that I love my gorgeous thick dark chocolate, man, that's what Netflix AI picked for me, even though he's not a co-host of the show or anything like that. It's just that Netflix chose that particular photo for me. Now, the other photo that you saw after this photo was the main. I don't want to call it the main one because it's whatever AI determines for you, but I guess the predominant box. And I love me some Ramit Sethi. He's beautiful as well. Yes. And I also love me some gorgeous thick dark chocolate. I do. And that's why, and let me say this. I ring spotted for him because I noticed in his little in that little bitty photo from the show that AI determined was best for me, I saw the ring and I'm like, oh, okay, Netflix, I understand. And honestly, as far as, oh, and by the way, Ramit said he is also married. So me talking about how beautiful he is, it's irrelevant because again, he's also married. And all right, team marriage. I'm gonna represent that soon, y'all. Anyway, but yeah, as far as Netflix using AI to sort of pick what people are most attracted to get them to be attracted to the movies or films, I'm of two minds about that. One of my minds thinks that's, or a part of my mind, you know, before I guess the other side of my corpus callosum feels that it's actually pretty cool. And the other part of me, I feel that Netflix did well with the dude, yes, a dude that I like. And I also fear that a next step might be to go from using different things, using AI to show us what we like, to then turn around and use AI to control what we like. But that could be a good thing, possibly. And maybe it would be good if something like that was used to help people put more love in the world, you know? So it controls what we like in a good way to control us, the human race, to put more love in the world. Because, in the words of so many, from so many so many through so much over the years. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Oh my gosh, the one, and I forgive me, I don't remember her name, but I do remember it's the woman who sang "What the World Needs Now Is Love, Sweet Love" from the Boss Baby soundtrack. I love that. Oh my gosh, like, and she gave me some belting as well, so thank you. Yes, absolutely. So the hashtag Verse TV family yes or no question is: if it existed in a vacuum with only positive results for the future, would you be okay with machine learning technology marketing to us in such a way that it would you be okay with machine learning technology continuing in even greater ways to market to us, the people, by showing us what we like? And that even connects with uh, people, a lot. I'll just answer my answer to it. Yes, and maybe it could positively introduce me to things that I didn't like through parts that I do like. So introduce me to things that I initially didn't like, but through parts of things that it was able to pick from it through things that I do like, introduce me to it and have me in turn take the time to learn about it. Because at oh my gosh, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to with people and humans in general. We just need to learn how to take the time to learn one another. Yes. All right. So, are we ready for the next? Yes, I am. Comments? I think that's that's gonna be my thing now. I'm just gonna speak to the comments and comments, even if nobody's there. Comments? Do you agree? Okay, let's do it. Share, subscribe, share again, click like, all of that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, and here we go.
Hashtag HeyShoreTV239 at Lake.Bates. Hashtag VerseTV239B. Text. Do you call yourself gay as an umbrella for bi as well? Or are you more gay than bi?
I get this question a lot. I came out as bi. I still identify as bi, but to be honest, I don't really identify as anything because you never know what's going to happen in the future. You never know who you're going to fall in love with. You never know who you're going to like. So I just like to have. That's just a term, innit? At the moment, I speak to guys more, chat to guys more. Yeah, that's what it is. In the future, you never know. So yeah, I say I'm bi, but there's no like. I don't like a label. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be one of those people, but I don't want a label. I get this question a lot.
All right. So, this is the Hey Shorty. So, the more comfortable the fluidity of young adults today is marvelous. And more aged adults who represented this in their youth before today, even though they were a part of a small minority, thank you. Thank you for representing because we needed you playing your role of living your truth. So younger people can live their truth openly today, you know, and be like that guy who was, yeah, I talk to girls and I talk to guys. I talk to more guys than gals, but whatever, you never know who you're going to fall in love with. And I think that we should all, as humanity, I think that we should all be that way. Anyway, just let love lead where let love lead where it leads. And this is Hey Shorty, but I'm sorry, I'm going to take a little bit more because yes, we should let love lead where it leads. And I think about younger myself, and when I would say that, it was because I was hoping love would lead me to a woman so I could live a normal life. But in retrospect, I'm glad that that did not happen. For me, the Kinsey scale says everyone is somewhere in the middle to varying degrees, and I do not think that I am an exception to that. I say that I'm probably like 90% gay, maybe 10% not, but you know, in the society that it was back when I was younger, it would not have been fortuitous. Ooh, I hope that's the right word. It might not be, but it would not have been good for me. Good and simple. It would not have been the right thing for me to be in a relationship with a woman and be like, well, I just don't really have a lot of sex. And again, I don't really have a lot of sex, and maybe oy, I think I'm going way too far. Anyway, are we ready for the next one, comments? All right, comments. We'll go on into the next one.
Hashtag training international.
That was absolutely not the next one. This is the next one. Share, subscribe, share again, and click like. Thank you so very much.
Hashtag purposeful deceit. At Marsh Mental Health. Hashtag VerseTV239C.
So a woman is asked on a date and she gets stood up, but that's pretty common. But the plot twist is insane.
Met this guy on a dating app and he immediately asked me out on a date to a specific restaurant. He confirmed day of, I get to the restaurant and see that he's nowhere to be found. So I reach out, no response. I check the app and notice that he unmatched me. At that point, I was a little confused and I was kind of pissed because I was already dressed and I got all the way there. And because I had put in so much effort, I thought I might as well just have a meal while I am in the building. And it wasn't until I got home when I was scrolling Facebook and I saw a very similar story from a girl at that same restaurant who also got stood up. She found out that there are restaurants now posing as people on dating apps just so you go to their business, and once you get stood up, they know that probably 9 times out of 10 that you're gonna buy something from them. And that just blew my mind.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And okay, so my first question is, have we become this heartless and money bag driven to do such things as far as the restaurants? And also, watching it this time, I was like, I'm a little upset about the fact that I caught this, that he immediately asked her to a restaurant. So it's like, these things, these restaurant bots or people are not even taking the time to be a good court to the person. They're just like straight up, hey, let's go to this restaurant. I don't want to waste a lot of time talking to you, but let's just do it. Let's just do it. Come on. And it's like, wow. But oh, I also had to comment on the fact that it referenced, you saw when the second woman was talking, she had a comment in her screen. I guess she was responding to it. But the comment was, quote, there's a reason she's single at her old age, end quote. And it's like, I don't know what just happened. But the quote was, there's a reason that she's single at her old age, end quote. And I feel that that's awful. And again, that's more heartlessness. And I too have had I get it as far as the restaurants and such. You know, when you go there, I remember one dude, beautiful dude, again, gorgeous thick dark chocolate. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. And he, although he didn't invite me to the restaurant, I invited him, and I was like, I'll pay, you know, because thirsty, desperate guys, we offer to pay. That's what we do. And I was like, I'll pay. And when I got to the restaurant, he wasn't there at the agreed upon time. And he didn't get there for a very long time. And eventually I was just like, oh, I guess I've been stood up. So I really like this particular quick serve restaurant, Cava, in DC and Baltimore. And I was like, I really like it. So I'm just going to get some food. I have my podcast in my ear. I'm going to listen to my podcast. And I will just go on, you know, and just enjoy myself, enjoy the food, listen to my podcast. I put it in both ears. I don't have to pay attention to anybody, anywhere. And I was doing that. And I got my food. I walked through the line. It's a quick serve restaurant, y'all. I walked through the line, got my food, and I started eating my food. And then, extremely late, he finally shows up. And he's like, hey, Mr. Aaron. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And at that point, I was already sold on just enjoying myself with the meal. So I wasn't excited to see him, but he came in and he was like, hey, mister, now you said you were going to pay for my meal. So let's go ahead and walk through this line and get my food, right? And I was like, okay, well, I did say that, so okay. And we got his food. But all of that to say, I don't have time to go into the story of how we met. It was a beautiful story, though. I'll give you all the Cliff Notes version of it because we met at this is why this is interesting, because we met while I was in a all of DC is DC, but in a more business district of DC with the restaurant and other shops and stores and restaurants galore. And we met at the ice cream shop. Oh, that sounds so romantic when I say it like that. But we met at the ice cream shop, and I was getting my frozen yogurt, and I saw this beautiful man walk in, and I was like, oh my gosh, he is absolutely beautiful. Yes, you know, but nothing happened, and I got out of line. I got through the line first, and I was like, well, beautiful men walk in and out of your life all the time, so whatever. And sure enough, you guys, he actually got his ice cream and came out, and something told me, you know what, Aaron, don't be so antisocial. So just while I was eating my ice cream, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just put my podcast in one of my ears this time. And sure enough, guess who got his ice cream, came out, and sat down right next to me? Him. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, wow. And he sat down next to, oh, no, when he sat down next to me, that's when I took out one of my podcast ears, phones. And he was like, hey, so I, in retrospect, this sounds like I've been so played that I feel like even telling the story makes me sound guilty and thirsty, desperate. But I have been thirsty, desperate in my thirsty, desperate days. And he was like, a guy as handsome as you must get all the women. And I'm like, yes, that's what I wanted to comment on last week. Because for the first time, I decided that I wouldn't lie about it. I would just tell him that I said, no, this is exactly what I said. No, all the guys don't throw, oh no, all the women don't throw themselves at me, but all the guys also don't throw themselves at me. And of the two, I prefer the guys to throw themselves at me. And I was like, I'll just leave it at that. And he was like, oh, okay. And so he stuck around. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, well, all the girls must throw themselves at you. And he was like, anyway, it's a very long story. Maybe I'll tell it another time. So, my conclusion on this is I think it's a smart move of restaurants, smart and low, dirty, dirty-handed of the restaurants to do that. Not like sweet and low, but just smart and low, you know? And I'm sure that the low, dirty deceit of those restaurants, I'm sure that puts food on somebody's table. Yes, it does. Puts money in somebody's bank. But, and yes, that's important, but nevertheless, this is one of the worst types of catfish, in my opinion. I'm sorry. The hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no question. If a person stands you up at one restaurant, will you just treat yourself to a different restaurant that same day, like just to avoid potentially throwing your money away to somebody who might be a restaurant professional catfishing you? My answer is no, because at the end of the day, I would want to stay at that same restaurant. Same reason that I ate my whole meal at Kaba, even though he was extremely late, because the hope would be that he or she, for those who go that way, those who go that way, he or she, or anyway, but yes, for those who do that, the hope is that the person will show up. And if I were to go to a different restaurant to eat, then there's a chance that I'd miss him. And no, that's not acceptable. No. Also, now I would go to a different restaurant if the restaurant to which I'd been invited by the dude on the dating app was insanely expensive. But I don't think that insanely expensive restaurants resort to such things. I think if you charge so much for your food, you probably have you're probably comfortable with your clientele already. Now, so yeah, as far as restaurants that AI or whatever invite me to, chances are the food is not ridiculously priced. That's why they invite you there. Hey, do you want to go to a restaurant? A specific restaurant? Like, oh, since you're inviting me, are you treating me? Yeah. And they just don't show up. But, oh, well, I'm here and, well, it's only $5 foot long. It's only $5 foot long. So I guess, I'll just have it. Anyway, are we ready for the next topic, y'all? Comments? Yes. Share, subscribe, share again, and be sure to click like, please, and thank you very much. Very much thank you. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
Hashtag Training International at La Mente Open. Hashtag VerseTV239D. Text: If Latinos talk to gringos the way gringos talk to Latinos, Part 2.
Hey guys, this is my friend Marilu. She just moved here from the United States, but don't worry, she doesn't own a gun.
That's hilarious.
I heard that everyone in your country's super rich and shallow. Is that true? Did you know my favorite song is the Cotton Eye Joe? I'm basically more American than Marilu.
It's pronounced Mary Lou.
That's what I said, Marilu. So what part of Canada did you say you're from again?
I'm from the U.S.
The U.S., Canada, it's all the same.
That's actually very ignorant.
Are you calling me a bigot?
Kinda.
You know I voted for Francia Marquez. Did I tell you that my cousin is also from the United States? Maybe you know her? Her last name is Smith. S-M-I. Marilu, what are you eating?
This is burgers and fries.
Oh my god, I've never heard of that. Can I try?
Sure.
You can really taste the lack of seasoning.
Do you want the recipe?
No, thank you.
Do you know what time is it?
¿Qué?
I said, what time is it?
Oh my god, Americans are so quiet. Can you speak louder? No one can hear you. Marilu, come on,
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing.
Marilu!
I don't even like this song.
What do you mean?
I don't want to join you.
This is the dance of your people.
Okay. So that clip brought back a few memories for me. And one of those memories is indeed Cotton Eye Joe and also the chicken dance. And I went to, when I was in Catholic school in upstate New York, whenever we would have a school dance, the DJ, who was probably just one of the friends of one of the, are they called pastors? I forget. The fathers. I don't know. But one of those people, or maybe he was the maintenance man. I don't recall. But it was always a he. He would always play Cotton Eye Joe in our school dance. At least once he would play Cotton Eye Joe. He would also play the chicken dance in our school. And I mentioned that I would state in advance that my staccato is not quite as fast as it once was due to the MS situation, making things complicated on me. But you all know the chicken dance. I'll do it slowly. Yes, chicken dance. Anyway, But yes, so that the second thing it reminded me of was years ago when I lived in middle of nowhere river in Maryland. I that same ex and I that I thought I was going to marry, we were renting a townhome out there because it was more reasonably priced since it was so far away from everything. But my barber that I went to out there, he the barber shop was run by dudes from Africa. Just coincidentally, like way out there, like that's who ran it. And one thing that I learned the hard way is that we live in a dream of a post-racial society, right? But when it comes to haircuts, that's they're very much okay with being like, no, we don't do you. And because I remember when I first moved to Baltimore, I went to a barber shop that was a barbershop for other, but I get it. Suffice it to say now, I get it that different people have different hair. But I went to that barbershop and they looked at me like I had 7 heads and 8 of them were breathing fire. And it was like, what? And I was like, hey, can I get a haircut? And they were, no, no. I was like, oh, okay. So I learned that the hard way. Anyway, but the barbershop that I went to, one of the barber who became my barber, his name was Kofi. Kofi. And see, I'm still trying, but I remember after like the first haircut or whatever, and we were exchanging information, I was like, yeah, and your name again? Kofi. Okay, Kofi. He's like, Kofi. And I'm like, that's what I said, Kofi. He's like, okay. But it's funny because that thing reminded me of that. And that also reminded me of, like, he told me he was from Togo. And it's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. You're from Togo? He was like, no, I'm from Togo. And I was like, that's what I said, Togo. He's like, no. Anyway, all of that to say, sometimes we just don't acknowledge or just don't notice our accents. I'm sorry, y'all, okay? And like my special Swahili speaking connection, he sort of chuckles at me when I say the way you say highway in Swahili is barabara ku ya uhuru. Wait, no, barabara ku ya uhuru. For Uhuru Kenyatta. I forget some. I'm sorry, but how you say big road or an avenue or whatever is Bada Bada Ya Kenyatta, and he loved having a chuckle at me saying Bada Bada Ya Kenyatta. He's like, he totally made it seem like I sound like a valley girl, and I totally don't. I used to, though. I used to when I lived in upstate New York. Oh my gosh, like me and my best friend, we were very much those people. I don't know if he grew up to be. I don't know. I don't know his tea, but we were very young, and we were like total, like we go around talking like Valley Girl, like totally. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but when my Swahili connection talks to me, and when I say bada bada yakin yak, he's like Kenyatta, yata, that's how he's Kenyatta. I'm like, that's not how I say it. I said bada bada yakin yata, and I think I just messed it up right there. Bada bada yakin yata, Kenyatta. Anyway, but yeah. So different people have different accents. It's just how we speak. You know, all around the world, we all have different accents. Anyway, and also I had to catch myself because I realized that I do that same thing to him quite often. Honestly, when we talk, but it's oh my gosh. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, and I think I do that to him because I love his accent. And when he says things, now he is 5 languages. Okay, I am 2 and 2/4 languages, 2 and 2/4. But that's because I speak a little Swahili and I speak a little Spanish. Comprendo muy poquito español, muy poquito. Y na ninafahamu Kiswahili kidogo sana. See, I was just giving out some foreign languages. Yes, Kenyatta. Anyway, I like him. Okay, shut up, y'all. Shut up now, y'all. Shut up. And anyway, but yes, as far as my doing that to him when he says things, it reminded me of this dude that I have interacted with who is a very attractive mix of femme and mask. You know, I guess people. I don't think he would call himself a butch queen though. I think he would just call himself mask. But you know, he's definitely got some yes up in him. And when I saw him do something particularly feminine once, I wanted to sort of poke a joke at him, but I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't because I realized that would have been just like me being that kid in grade school who makes fun of the person they have a crush on, you know? So it's like, okay, right. So anyway, a special East African connection remind as far as summing up this whole thing, a special East African connection of mine reminds me to not put a collection of unique people into a box, assuming 100% behavior in anything. You can't. You can't group everybody, you can't group unique people into a box thinking that they're going to do 100% of anything the same. The hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no question. Yes. Have you ever danced to Cotton Eye Joe? And my answer is yes, because in Middletown, at my school, again, they would play it a lot. And here's a little known fact. My face looked like that because thinking about my current situation with MS. But I used to be in Middletown, New York. The kids thought I was like super cool because like when it come to dancing and the school dances, I would do the Running Man. And that was the mid 90s, right? I was so cool doing the Running Man. And I would work so hard because we would do the Running Man and everything. And that's what I would do. And everybody would be like, Aaron, dance. And I would do the Running Man and what have you. But then we moved to New Orleans, also in the mid to late 90s. Well, mid 90s, 96. And we had a sock hop at Capto Elementary School. Nope, Capto Junior High School. Yes, Capto Junior High, Pierre A. Capto, CAPDAU. And the kids were dancing in a circle. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to show my moves. And they're like, Aaron, get out there. And I got out there and I was doing the Running Man, dancing all hard and all of that stuff. And I had to learn very quickly, again, upon moving from upstate New York to New Orleans, Louisiana, that the Running Man was not cool. And not anymore. And part of it might have been the move from upstate New York to New Orleans, Louisiana. But part of it also might have been just culture shifting from the mid 90s into the late 90s. And that just, because people used to dance really hard in the 90s, in the mid 90s, early 90s. It was just like in Living Single, the women who would dance on the intro to that. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that late already. All right, so here comes topic E. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you. And click like, please.
Hashtag CerebralTV239 at Zach Noe Towers at Taha Likes You at It's Bobby Fan at Algalde_Raphael hashtag VersTV239E.
Today I am 8 years sober, so I would like to list 8 benefits I've experienced since deciding to give up drugs and alcohol. Let's go! Also, these are in no specific order. No more blackouts. Y'all, I used to lose hours, entire nights to blackouts. Now, if I wake up in a gross dude's bed, guess who's the first to know? Me. I did it on purpose. No more hangovers. I used to wake up with a splitting headache, nauseous, like a plant that hadn't been watered in 18 months, just like, Now, I wake up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and some would say too hydrated. Community. I am in a program of recovery, and when I tell you those meetings have saved my life, there's always a place I can go when I'm feeling stressed or anxious, and there are other people who feel like me. Mwah, beautiful, no notes. Genuine connections. When I was drinking and doing drugs, I thought that I had these great friends. No, it's just people I did cocaine with. There is nothing more beautiful than a sober friendship. Oh, it's so cold. My career. I owe my entire career to my sobriety because I'm taking all of the time I used to waste drinking and recovering from drinking, and I'm investing that time in myself. And this sounds like common sense as it's coming out of my mouth, but it felt really revolutionary at the time. And I know today I am 8 years sober.
Something a lot of people don't know about Indian culture is that a lot of times when women are washing their saris in the laundry, but they want something to drape around them, they will often style their tablecloths on their bodies. Sometimes they'll even just use bed sheets and they'll just wrap it and drape it around themselves. This was an act of rebellion against the capitalistic nature of India that was imposed by the colonial forces that left in 1947. What started off as an act of rebellion against capitalism and colonialism ended up being something that was really, really fashionable. So a lot of Indian women go to events wearing tablecloths. I'm kidding, I made all of that up, but apparently that's what someone told the director of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire when he made the 2 Indian girls wear literal bed sheets to the Yule Ball. They were literally wearing bed sheets, tablecloths. What is that?
431 is your total. My screen's just going to ask you a quick question. Wait, you want me to tip you for playing my role in this 50-50 relationship that we call a transaction? But I'm the one providing you the coffee, and I'm the one providing the business. Okay, well, you don't have to tip, and you don't have to tip me. Right, so just tap zero on the screen. Do you feel it? Yeah, I mean, what is it? The feeling of requirement. Well, you don't have to tip, but you are required to answer the question. It's the fact you asked the question that makes tipping not feel like tipping. It's like asking grandma if she wants to put money in your birthday card this year. You're robbing the joy she gets when making a kind gesture, and it's making her feel like shit. I don't want to do that to grandma. Then don't ask her. Leave it all up to her. So what do you say we put down our screens and we stop asking? It's just that your card was declined. Oh, wife must have went to Home Goods. Here, I'll just do cash. Here's 5. Out of 5, okay, so your change will be 6. Keep the change. But you just...
Do you call yourself a Republican so you can make a claim to credibility when you attack the GOP?
No, I call myself a Republican because I am one. I believe in market solutions, and I believe in common sense realities and the necessity to defend ourselves against a dangerous world, and that's about it. Problem is now I have to be homophobic. I have to count the number of times people go to church. I have to deny facts and think scientific research is a long con. I have to think poor people are getting a sweet ride. And I have to have such a stunning inferiority complex that I fear education and intellect in the 21st century. But most of all, the biggest new requirement, really, the only requirement, is that I have to hate Democrats. And I have to hate Chris Christie for not spitting on the president when he got off Air Force One.
Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you. And click like, please, and thank you.
Hashtag LiveMikeTV239 at That's Theater Stuff. Hashtag VerseTV239F.
All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough.
Yes, very quickly. One, I love how he vocally caught that reverb, caught that echo on the for me. See, I'm not quite getting it. Sorry. But I love how he caught that reverb, caught that echo, and just sound. Just, yes, love it. And I also love how even after all of that chest belting, he was able to end the song and switch to falsetto and do so well. Not everybody can do that because sometimes, if not often, oftentimes, when people belt with their chest so much, their voice is too raw to transition to falsetto. But that's probably because they're not belting with their chest the right way. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention how much I love Nicole Scherzinger's version of this song from, I don't remember the play that it came from, but Nicole Scherzinger did a live performance of that song, and she is exceptional. And I really love her ability to transition from chest voice into head voice, because she did it even a little bit more. And still went back, and some of the notes that she did in head voice went back and would do them in chest voice in the same song. Nicole Scherzinger is just next world exceptional. Jennifer Hudson and Nicole Scherzinger, I'll say they are two people, two vocalists who really got going in our generation, us millennials, older millennials, who we slept on them. And it is what it is. Music is where it is. But also, I noticed, because I've been loving Nicole Scherzinger's version of the song Never Enough. So I'd love to even watch voice coaches speak about her performance of Never Enough. And I've seen them talk about why comments that they got. Why would she call it for May instead of for me? And the vocal coach was like, not obviously, but I say obviously, May is a more round vowel than me, belting me, you know. Anyway, my voice is starting to go away so clearly. It's been over an hour. I will talk to you on later social media. Family, peace, #VersTV.com. Stay blessed. All right.